Hey, welcome back to another weekly recap here on Already Overbooked. Um, I know this is coming out on Friday, but for all transparency, I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 26th, because it's the holidays. It's Thanksgiving. I'm doing a lot of traveling, a lot of hanging out with the family. I'm off work, so I'm going to be doing a lot of family stuff. I think we got a show we're going to as well. So we have a lot going on these next few days, and to be able to go through and put out a video on Friday, record it and get it ready to go on Friday, realistically is not going to happen. So it's Wednesday. It is what it is. So let's just jump in to the book ball giveaway update. So I ended up going up against this past week against the fantastic Timothy Wolf, author of Platinum Tinted Darkness. Now, I know a lot of you in the last video were really hyped about getting potentially winning this fantastic book by Timothy Wolf, but unfortunately, I ended up going through and beating Tim this week, 137 to 102. So I'm so sorry. I'm going to go through and keep this gem. But some good news, I think Tim and I are going up against each other, not this week, but the following week, right before playoffs. So you might have another chance before the end of the season to try to win this book, but I'm going to keep this one. But maybe you'll win it in a few weeks. So the next person who I'm going up against is someone who's already kicked my butt once. Someone who we've been going back and forth on who's going to be in second place this whole season. And I'm talking about the one, the only, Ryan Skeffington, the beast himself. Ryan is a rock star. He is the author of I Only Got Book 2 because the first time we went up against each other, he kicked my butt, and I gave away my only copy of his book 1. So I'm going to show off book 2, Infinite Existence. And yeah, this is what we're going to be competing for. Book 1. We're going to be going up against for book 1 of this fantastic series. And honestly, Ryan's going to kick my butt. I just have a feeling he's going to do it again. He has been unstoppable all season long. So if you're interested in getting a copy of Ryan's fantastic book, put in dreams into the comment, because the only way I'm going to beat him is in my dreams. So put that in the description below if you want a chance to go through it and win Ryan's fantastic book series. Loved it. Super excited to jump into Eternal Dreams very, very soon. So dreams below to win yourself a copy of Ryan's fantastic book. Off to what did I go through and finish this past week? Like I said, it's Wednesday technically, so it's only been a few days, and with the holidays coming up, work's been hectic. I have not gone through and finished any book. It is what it is. So let's just jump into what I'm currently reading, which is the same books as last week, but I'll run through those again if anyone who missed it. The first one is It's Dark in Their Minds. This is a horror anthology. I am about halfway through this anthology, and the stories that I've read so far have been very, very good with authors I've not heard of. And that's the big thing what I love about anthologies is I find amazing authors that I just was not familiar with before. So there's a lot of these authors I'm going to be going through and trying to find their individual works after I go through and finish this anthology. And the other book that I'm going through and reading, this is a physical book, and this is Steve Cavernall's Two Kinds of Strangers. I am fourth of the way through with this one. I love this book. This is so much fun. This, again, is a standalone story within this universe, and it is about an influencer who does the video vlogs type of, or those live vlog life. You know, people go through and they just record themselves wandering around the towns. I know there's a lot of people that go through and do that. So in this world, we have Ellie who does that for TikTok, and she walks in on her husband and his coworker going at it. So that got posted live on the internet. So went all over the place, and Ellie was obviously devastated, tried taking down the video, but of course it was already screen grabbed and tossed everywhere. Some time goes by. Ellie is still trying to be a good person and help people out, kind of staying away from social media, trying to help hope that the everything dies down and she can then go back to it. But then she sees a stranger on the side of the road who needs some help. And she goes through and helps this person out and ends up getting drugged and wakes up in the hospital bed and finds out that she's the prime suspect for a double homicide that happened. Her husband and his coworker, who she caught on camera a few weeks prior, are both dead. So that's where the story and the premise is for this, of trying to help her, try to figure out, is she the one that went through and actually did it? If not, who is this stranger that ended up drugging her, and what happened with that? So very, very fun, very intense so far. We are just getting into the midst of it, just getting into the chaos. And yeah, so far I'm having a blast with Steve Cavanagh's Two Kinds of Strangers. All right, so let's go through and jump into my book haul. I ended up going through and getting one ebook, that's an e-arc book. Then I received a Kickstarter book, and then I ended up going through and buying a trilogy that was on sale at the local bookstore. I know, do you really need another trilogy? Yes, I have a problem. So jump into the ebook first. I ended up going through and getting a copy of an amazing book, Puddle People by E.M. Bradley. And this book is about Walter Minst, who is sick of the world of people who just don't get his incredible work, his inventions, his lifelong dream of global peace and unity. Not seeing the change in his fellow man that he has greatly desired, Walter has decided to take matters into his own hands. People need to learn a lesson, an ice water cold lesson. But when his experiment falls flat and the town folks of Northern Ireland start to go missing, the case falls to Chief Bill Riley. This sounds awesome, weird, intense. Knowing EM's works, I know this is going to be too much fun. So super excited to read this one. Probably going to be reading it hopefully before the end of the year, if not very, very soon in 2026. Jumping into the Kickstarter book I ended up going through and getting, I received Gregory Amato's book 3 of Spears of the Gods. This has been a book I've been waiting for a little while, since I backed this Kickstarter, I think sometime last year. But yeah, I'm super excited now that I have the full trilogy. I want to go back and reread book 1, and then I can start book 2 and then get into this amazing gem, because I really need to go through and find out what happens to my ragtag group of Norsemen. And Greg's writing is so well done. I've done a review of book 1, had Greg on the channel twice now to go through and talk about his books. I'll go through and post it somewhere. We can go through and watch the review of book 1 and also some of the amazing conversations I had with Greg. So Falling to Fury. The next one was again, the trilogy that I went through and got from the bookstore. I ended up seeing it for sale, I think for like $5, less than $5. I was able to get all 3 of these books, and so I had to go through and get it. And this was Don Winslow's City on Fire. So we have book 1, City on Fire, book 2, City in Ruins, and book 3, City of Dreams. So got all 3 of these for less than $5. I read a few of Don's books before. I have not read these. I can't recall which one of his books I ended up reading. I'll have to go through and look. But I remember he writes so well. He does thrillers very well. And in this series, from what I remember it saying, this is The Power of the Dog. That's the one I went through and read, The Power of the Dog. The Border, The Cartel. Yeah, so those are the ones I ended up going through and reading. But this is a mafia-style story, and I am hyped to jump into it. I'm a big organized crime fiction fan, love The Godfather, one of my favorite books of all time. So this gets compared to the intensity like The Godfather. So I'm super excited to hopefully start this sometime next year. It's going to be one of those that I'm going to have to binge all 3 of them back to back. So Probably going to be starting this soon. If you've read any of these, let me know if they're fantastic, if I should be reading them sooner than later. So, jumping into what is coming up next week. On Monday, we're doing our December TBR, and this one is going to be super fun. I'm going to be reading only continuations of series that I have read. So that means no new books, no standalones, only continuations of amazing series. You're not going to want to go through and miss out on these. I've had so much fun with these stories, and I'm excited to kind of lean back in. And all the stories that I'm continuing in December are stories that I have given a lot of praise and talked amazing about on the channel. I think I've done a review on almost all of these books already for book one, so I'm hyped. I'm excited to continue in these worlds. But yeah, I want to end this year strong with continuing fantastic stories I've gone through and read. So on Wednesday, I'm interviewing the great Darren Hanshaw. He's the author of Artifacts and Enigmas. So I'm very excited for this conversation because this book surprised me in so many ways. Not only was the writing great, the story was fantastic, but the way that Darren put his stories together was very, very cool. It was episodal within the story, and it gave off a huge Sherlock Holmes feel, which I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan. I love those stories. So having a more sci-fi related, sci-fi fantasy, I would say, version of Sherlock Holmes, that's kind of what this story was. So I'm super excited to have a conversation with Darren at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to go through and discuss his books and really dive deep into his process and how he decided to move forward with this fantastic book, and then talk about some future works I'm hoping is going to be coming out because I had too much fun in this world. Then on Friday, I'm going to be on Fantasy and Sci-Fi Fanatics podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're having a launch party for the great Andrew Johnston. His new book is coming out, and we're going to be going through and discussing that with him and going to be having a great conversation. I can't recall the full list of people, but I'll have all the links in the description below. And it also, every time Andrew does a book launch, he gives a book away for free. So jump in, say hi, see how you can try to get yourself a free copy of his brand new book on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Fantasy and Sci-Fi Fanatics podcast. You are not going to want to go through and miss it. And then also on Friday, we're going to be doing our normal weekly recap where I talk about everything that happens from now to actually on Friday. We're going to be doing it on Friday. All right, so let's jumping into our indie author spotlight. I want to go through and spotlight someone that is been in the author space for a little while and is someone who not only writes fun, engaging, and awesome stories, but also just an all-around amazing, nice person. And I'm talking about Mike Mollman, author of these fantastic stories. Look at all these fantastic. I'm going to go through and raise them up real quick. Look at these. But Mike is such an amazing person. He is so kind. He goes through and does an amazing podcast or YouTube channel. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit column A, column B. Bald and Balding. And he does creature creation with a lot of people. Goes through and really loves going through and spotlighting authors and going through and just having a lot of fun. And Mike's writing style is epic, it's fun, it's silly, and I have so much fun. I went through and read Proxima Station recently, and it was a blast. I had too much fun with this book, and the way he goes through and writes his stories and creates his characters and their world is a blast. Go through, if you have not already, checked out Mike's amazing work. I'll go through and toss a link to his website below, and you can go through and check out some of his amazing stories. Proxima Station is something I would highly recommend checking out. It is 100, I think it's right at 100, and yeah, right under 130 pages. So you want to go through and check the story out. This gives you a little taste of Mike's amazing writing style, and he's such amazing prose, amazing characters, and all around Mike's fantastic. So go through, check out Mike's works in the description below. So let's jump into the BookTuber Spotlight, and I want to go through and spotlight an amazing friend, someone who's been so nice since I jumped onto the BookTube space about a year ago, and just been so helpful, supportive, and is hilarious. And I'm talking about Edward from channel Grifton. And Edward is so cool, so nice. He's someone that I strive to emulate on my interviews, try to go through and put in the love and passion that he does with his interviews. He puts so much work and really comes off so natural during his interviews with these amazing traditional and self-published authors. And I am just really happy to call him a friend. If you're not familiar with Grifton, I'll have all of his information in the description below. He does fantastic interviews with amazing authors. Go through, check his stuff out. You will not be disappointed. So that's all I have for this week. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You know what to do. Till I see you in the next one, stay overbooked.